Arthur Morgan is far from a morally good guy, and he'd be the first to tell you that.
But I'm not a good man. I'm still a bad man. You and me, we ain't decent.
He killed countless people in cold blood throughout his life and had a net negative effect on the world around him. He's no hero, but he might just be the greatest man in gaming because of the way he changed. It's easy to remember Arthur as the no-nonsense enforcer of Dutch van der Linde's gang, a man who could rob a train and kill its passengers in the dead of night, then play five-finger fillet with his brothers at breakfast. But there's a moment in his life, a devastating moment, that transforms him completely, a wake-up call that changes everything. Right after one of the game's most grandiose near-death experiences, Arthur is suddenly forced back to reality.
You got tuberculosis.
And suddenly, time is no longer an abstract concept. It's a ticking clock. Every cough feels like a reminder of his impending death. Every ride through Saint Denis, a bittersweet farewell. A lot of men in Arthur's life would face this troubling concept by desperately clinging to power and doubling down on their beliefs. I'm looking at you, Dutch, but not Arthur. His illness forces him to strip away his bravado and ask himself what kind of man he wants to be with the limited time he's got left. And Arthur's wake-up call happened to coincide with the gang's downfall. Every member that leaves signifies a part of the gang's humanity being chipped away, slowly transitioning them into the very thing they swore they'd never become. And it's almost like Arthur is forced to become more empathetic himself, to fill the void left by former members like Lenny and Mary Beth. And the people who don't leave, they start to look different to Arthur too. Take John Marston. Arthur used to see him as reckless, just another careless kid who's in over his head, a kid who abandoned his family because he couldn't bear to face the responsibility of having one. But now, he sees him as a father, someone who's barely holding his family together and is in desperate need of some wisdom. Wisdom that isn't handed down by the narcissistic maniac who left him for dead.
Josh, I was coming on you.
They was talking to me, Dutch.
They won't me. You're f***ing gay!
Arthur realizes that if John abandons his family again, Abigail and Jack may meet the same fate that Arthur's own family did, and that is absolutely unacceptable. So Arthur does something rare for anyone to do, much less an outlaw. He starts to help John, not for a payout, and especially not because Dutch ordered him to, but because it's the right thing to do. Yet Arthur's journey isn't just about helping John, it's about outgrowing the insidious influence of Dutch. Dutch raised Arthur, gave him a way to see the world, but after Arthur's diagnosis, he realizes just because someone raised you doesn't make them God. Dutch is a man full of ego. He parades himself as a prophet for the lost souls that he claims to help.
Who made you the messiah to these lost souls you've led so horribly astray?
He tells grand stories about freedom, loyalty, and being outlaws in an age where outlaws are going extinct, all while using people as no more than chess pieces to get what he wants, further worsened by the fact that he doesn't know what he even wants.
Head out around them, be west of Uncle Sam, buy some land.
Australia or Tahiti, South Pacific. Tahitians, we gotta convince each family that we're on their daddy.
Does this trolley go to Tahiti? New York. We are gonna go to New York. We're gonna go north.
New York.
Then Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, or this place, New Guinea. Dancing girls, freedom, smoke, commotion. Harvesting mangoes in Tahiti. Farmers, seed capital.
I ain't got a final plan.
They want us, Arthur. They want us. And they are going to have
My daddy.
Arthur's the opposite. He leads with humility. While Arthur's masculinity before the diagnosis was defined by fear and physical dominance, it is now defined by his protection and mercy. He used to kill people for unpaid debts. Now he wipes the debts away. He helps people quietly, not for glory or control, but because he genuinely cares. And this reminds me of a moment from Better Call Saul, Season 5, Episode 5. This moment is forgettable in the grand scheme of things, but it speaks volumes. Gustavo Fring created a sanctuary for these children in honor of his former partner Max. Mike, having been put there by Gus and his doctor to heal from an injury, says this.
So I'm here to see what a big heart you have. Is that the idea? You throw money at these people, they bow low.
To which Gus replies,
As far as the people here are concerned, I am the doctor's friend, nothing more.
They have no idea you financed the whole place. The anonymous benefactor. Well, that must make you feel pretty good. And is that supposed to balance the scales? Make up for everything else you do?
and Gus says,
It makes up for nothing. I am what I am.
Gus did this not to feel good, not to erase guilt, but because deep inside, beneath his revenge-fueled hatred for the Salamancas, he truly cares about those children. Arthur's the same way. He is who he is, and he can't change that. But what he can change is what he does going forward. And this is where Dutch starts to see Arthur as a traitor. Arthur, driven by sympathy, helps the Native Americans behind Dutch's back, almost splitting the gang into two, the ones that follow Dutch and the ones that follow Arthur. They're both at the same place, aiding the same people, but for different reasons. Dutch is here for the bonds. Arthur just wants to support Eagle Flies and his people. From Dutch's perspective, Arthur's compassion is seen as betrayal of the gang, of the outlaw life, and, in a twisted way, Dutch is right. Arthur does betray the gang. He betrays the idea that being an outlaw means taking and harming without giving back. Arthur sees through that now. He's still an outlaw, yes, but at least now, he sees the ripples his actions leave behind. That's what makes Arthur's story so powerful. He knows he can't fix his past. He knows some people will never forgive him, and he knows that even if they do forgive him, some things just can't be undone. When Mary asks him to run away with her, he refuses. He won't ruin her life just to make himself briefly happy. He's too far gone, and he knows it. So instead, he puts everything he has left into saving John's family, because they aren't too far gone. Because if he can't save himself, maybe there's a chance he can save them. But the tragedy is that despite this game having redemption in the title, the closest these characters get to redemption are feeble attempts. Arthur attempts to redeem himself by helping John. John attempts to redeem himself by working with the law, but you can't outrun your past. John thinks that if he catches one last man for Ross, maybe his family will finally be safe. But John took hundreds of lives. Try explaining to the child of one of the people that John shot in the street like a dog that his father's killer is walking free because he helped the government catch a bigger fish. Life's not a fantasy. It doesn't work like that. You can help people, you can change, you can even sacrifice yourself for them. But that doesn't erase the scars you've left behind. Despite how evil Dutch was, he knew that. He knew that after everything he'd done, he would never be afforded a happy ending. Every attempt he made to escape only brought him closer to the law. So he doubled down. He became even worse, and you can't really blame him for that. Hell, he may have even regretted his past actions, but that doesn't matter. Regret doesn't bring justice. He even said as much to John, which could be construed as an indirect warning about John's own fate.
When I'm gone, they'll just find another monster.
Dutch is warning John that one day, he too will have to face the consequences of his actions just as Dutch is right now. Similarly, Arthur must confront the results of his actions. The Downs family will never live a normal life after what Arthur did to them. Jack Marston, the innocent boy Arthur tried so hard to guide, grows up to become exactly what his family wanted him not to be. Because you'll always carry your past with you, and you won't be granted absolution. Arthur helped so many people in his final days, but no matter how hard he tries, the history books will always say the same thing. Arthur Morgan, Dutch van der Linde's right-hand man, the outlaw who killed thousands in the name of his gang. And there's something oddly beautiful about that. You don't get to choose your legacy or how people remember you. You just choose how you live the time you've got left, and Arthur chose to be better.